So this version of Storytellers, we're actually going to do it from our office here at Sierra Creative in Wyoming. We have Helen Lomax coming in. I've worked with Helen a long time. She runs Pathways and Transitions, which is a training organization. Helen's really well known, won quite a few awards over the years, and I think it's going to be a really interesting and different sort of episode this time. So I hope you all enjoy. Helen, how are you today?
I'm just wonderful, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you very much for joining me in this episode of Storytellers.
Oh, it's exciting.
It's great. We've known each other a long time, and I'm really glad you could help us out with this. Tell us your story, Helen. For those of you that don't know you, that haven't heard of you, start from the top and tell us your story.
Well, it's a long story, it's a short story, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm in the training and development field, and I absolutely love it. Feel like I've been doing it 6 lifetimes. Never a plan for it, though. Fell into it, opportunity, would you like to try this, Helen? Okay, I'll give it a go. Walk through that door. Something else came along, walk through that door. Started out actually as a secretary and a receptionist.
Okay.
Yeah. And then people asked me to create a communication program for them, which I did. They liked that, asked me to run a training course, which I did, asked me to take over the training department, which I did. I had a regional government ask me to come in and create, they didn't have a training department at all, so I pulled the whole department together, which was an absolute wonderful opportunity. And I've just met awesome people along the way, and it's been great.
Cool. So focusing primarily on training and development. What sort of field? You said government. Do you do more of the corporate stuff as well, or kind of? A
lot of corporate.
Where's the kind of journey taken you over the years?
I guess for me, as an individual, I've always loved people.
Yeah.
And to me, one of the things I really want people to realize is how good they are, and people don't. Oh, I can't do that, or I've never got the skill, I don't have the education. Yeah. Hey, give it a try. As you know, you were a guest on my Kojiko show. Yeah. I'd never done a Kojiko show before, and it ran for 4 years. I had an awesome time with it. Goofed up sometime in every show, but that's okay. I didn't die from it.
That's right.
So try things. If it doesn't work perfectly, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But that took me into the corporate world, both large and small. It's taken me into the not-for-profit world, and I'm loving that because I'm on the board of Goodwill for Sarnia, Chatham, and Windsor. And because I've always liked people, I want people to know how good they are. I want people to take opportunities that are really great and that are out there, because sometimes people will shy away from it. And you know what? If I could give one piece of advice to people, it would be continue to learn and grow your whole life and believe in yourself.
That's
Believing in yourself is so important.
Yeah.
It's
and
so important.
Not be scared to try new things, obviously, like you're talking about here. It's that I think goes far with a lot of people these days, is everybody kind of gets into that routine and the rigidness of it, and they're scared to kind of jump out of their comfort zone.
You're so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah. And you know, it's a big world out there.
That's right.
And I always say to a lot of people, network. You know, like for me, when I'm out there, I'm talking to people all the time. I think my husband thinks I talk in my sleep even. and the thing for me, though, is you meet a lot of people wherever you go, and I don't have any respect for titles. I don't care whether you're a president. I don't care whether you're a data entry clerk or a mail deliverer. I don't really care. Yeah. You know, people are people. We all have our gifts and our strengths, and they're wonderful. Develop them. Get your passion out there and run with your passion. Because if you know what your passion is, you can really make it fly. And if you're like you have done, because I mean, your company has grown a lot in 10 years, Matt, and you're at the head of the parade for that, and you've grown it and developed it. But you've done that by bringing your people along. You've inspired your people. You've got a leadership capacity within you to do that. And that's what leaders in organizations need to do, regardless of whether they're large, small, not-for-profit, private sector. It doesn't matter.
That's right. Yeah.
You know.
So how long have you been doing this?
6 lifetimes.
Feels like
that's what it feels like. 6 lifetimes.
Yeah.
It's been over 25 years
that's
now.
Crazy.
Yeah. And like I said, it's been a very different journey. I started out as a secretary, and just it grew and went, and I had opportunities, and I did things, and I tried some things that went, ooh, I'm glad I tried it, because I never want to do this again. But that's to my advantage.
That's
I'm not spending time doing stuff I don't love. I love what I do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love what I do. And I mean, anytime I go in to see a group, and I mean, I've done things from the federal government right down to private. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. What I find is that I've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience to share with people, and I want to do that because I want them to grow too. But I'm smart enough to know I got a lot to learn. Yeah. You know, and I hope I'm learning till the day I die, because nobody has it all. Yeah. Nobody has it all. So you need to keep reaching out. You need to keep learning.
So you probably have already kind of touched on that, but could you pinpoint 1 or 2 things that have kind of kept that motivation going over the years and kind of kept you moving in that direction?
What it is the people. Like people say to me, if you're doing, say, a leadership program or a communication program,
Yep.
and you can do the workshop like over and over and over again, people say, doesn't that get boring? It's never the same.
That's right.
The components may be the same, but each group makes it different.
New set of challenges every time.
Their challenges, their opportunities, and the individual experiences that they're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
So it's always new. And I guess the thing that keeps my passion alive is the people. Doing everything from the, in the corporate world, when you're dealing with a lot of organizations and they're watching their bottom line and they want to keep things going, and that's really important to help people to go. And the people in the middle of the organization is really where my heart sings the most, because they are the ones that are really hitting the road and they're taking the heat every day and they're delivering the great customer service, hopefully.
Yeah.
But the other part too is when I'm going with people like the not-for-profits and the Goodwill and some of the other organizations, some of the people have got some challenges. Some of them are just simply looking for jobs. And when you're working with them and all of a sudden their face lights up.
Yeah, and you see that.
And you see them like,
yeah.
oh, I think I can do that. It's like, that's my goal.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my goal. It's like when you get people and they know it, they can do it.
I hear that. Yeah. We've been doing a little bit of consulting like that too. And when you see that business owner kind of make that aha moment, it makes it all worthwhile, right?
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh, that's, we all get paid for what we do.
Yep.
But that's my real goal.
That's it.
Yeah. That's my real goal. So I hope I got 6 more lifetimes in me because I'm still loving it.
Still lots to do, right?
I'm still loving it. Yep, it's great. It's great.
What does the day-to-day look like for you?
Never the same.
All over the place.
Never the same. I've been fortunate over my career because I've had a chance to speak at different conferences across Canada and the United States.
Yep.
I mean, I've been down in San Diego and Atlanta and Chicago. I've been out in Victoria, BC, and down in the Maritime provinces.
Yep.
So I've had an opportunity to travel, which is great.
Yeah.
But the thing for me is like I'm kind of narrowing it down, and I love to work in my own backyard.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of neat to go and travel and do some different things too.
What are some kind of tools or tricks that you use to stay productive?
I guess to stay productive, generally what I do is I'm dealing with people. I could sit at home in my computer in my own office and create workshops and different speeches for conferences, but that's pretty dull. I'd much rather play with somebody else.
Yeah.
And so getting out, like this is to me is like, oh, let's go, Matt. What can we talk about?
Yeah.
Or if I'm just having a meeting with somebody, or I'm going to a networking luncheon, you're meeting other people, they're inspiring you, they're talking to you, they're engaging your brain.
Yeah.
And never discount what somebody else has to offer you. It was really interesting for me. One day I had a vacuum cleaner that had died, and I took it into Sears when Sears was around, and I walked down this long hall because they called and said it was ready, and there was a gentleman in line ahead of me, and I didn't know who he was, and there was nobody at the customer service desk. And we waited there for a minute, and I said to the guy, has anybody been here? And he said, yeah, he was here, but I don't know where he went. So I stayed a minute later, and I was just standing there quietly, and I said to the guy, wow, like this isn't a very good customer service desk. Maybe I need to give them some training. And he turned and looked at me, and he said, do you do customer service training? I said, yeah, I do. He said, have you got a card? What I didn't know is he was a director for one of the ministries in the federal government.
No way.
I did work for them for 3 years.
Over that, that's
Standing
crazy.
in a line to pick up a vacuum.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is never discount who you're talking to,
That's
because it may be a door that's going to open for you, or it may be that's a door that's going to open for you to help them.
It's all about relationships.
Absolutely.
And that, I can attest to that all day long, is that, you hit it on the nose. You never know what opportunity is going to lead to the next big thing. Or idea, like you say. If you're sitting there talking to somebody about something completely different than what you're focused on, there's that nugget that could, be that seed that turns into something a lot bigger and better over the years. So you have a busy life. You have a lot going on.
I do.
Is there anything that keeps you up at night?
Yeah, government.
Government?
Yeah. At this point in my life, I'm kind of paring back a little bit on some of the things I'm doing on one side of my life, but I'm trying to ramp up on another side.
Yep.
And I really would like to get more involved with government, and not just in Canada, but worldwide. And that's because I see such a lack of faith and apathy and distrust in our world today. And there's examples of it if you watch the news every single day.
That's right.
And the promises that get made, but nobody believes that they're going to happen anymore. And I would really like to find a way to get involved, to build up back trust, to build the credibility back in it. And I think in our world today, what we need to do is we need to look in a mirror. Every single person walking the face of this earth need to look in a mirror every day to say, what am I doing? How am I helping? Am I being accountable and responsible for my words and my actions? And accountability and responsibility are really hot buttons for me. because we don't do that a lot anymore. It's like, oh, it's just Matt, I can blow him off. No, you can't.
That's right. Yeah.
No, you can't. And if you're an elected official, you need to be responsible for how you're spending money, for the decisions, for the impact on the people around you. But that's the one thing that kind of keeps me awake, is because we can do better.
That's right.
We can do better.
Yeah. How important is work-life balance to you?
Huge.
Yes.
Huge. It's always been important for me.
How do you manage it? Because sometimes you have a busy schedule. You're kind of like one of those.
I manage it. I manage it like most people will not. Most people will not. And simply because my husband has always been my number one priority. And so he will come first. So I work around things that we've got going maybe.
Yeah.
So I can plan that. Some people can. If you're in the corporate world, you don't have the flexibility when you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. But the other thing I do is I do not make myself available 24/7 to people.
Good for you.
I do not.
Yeah.
And the one I've had people say to me, I don't think I have your cell phone number. It's like, no,
you're not getting it either.
I do not carry my phone.
Yeah.
I use my phone when I want to make a call.
Yep.
I do not have a cell phone in my hand all the time. Where most people are, no matter where they're going, they're checking their emails. They're doing that.
I'm jealous.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. And people say to me, oh, I can't go. Like when I go on vacation, I don't take my tablet, I don't take my laptop, and I don't take my phone.
I'm very jealous.
When I'm gone, I'm gone. And I tell the people that need to know that I'm away for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it happens to be, and I will pick things up when I come back. Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be my next question. How do you avoid burnout? But it looks like you got that under control as well.
I think everybody's prone to that,
Yep.
you know, and I think our world and our society is expecting people to work longer and harder.
Yeah.
And I often say to people when I'm doing my workshops, you have this much time every day to do stuff. That's the size of your plate every day, but you have this much stuff you're trying to fit on.
I know.
And so you're trying to crunch it in, so people are working longer hours or taking things home or whatever. And as long as you do that, the company's going to let you.
Yeah.
You know, and as long as you meet all the demands,
they're
going to keep demanding things like that. So burnout, I think, is everybody needs to manage it. I fall into burnout too, Matt.
Yeah.
If I have a whole bunch of workshops coming up and things, and I've got to create manuals, or I want to tweak something, and I got to get it out, and I've got meetings to go through. I've got to get this to the printer. So I'll have it. Inevitably, you'll have stretches where it's really peaceful and this is great, and then everything happens at once, and you have to work. I mean, I try, because having an office in my home, I don't turn my computer on after 5 o'clock at night.
Good for you.
And I do not turn my computer on Saturday and Sunday. I do not.
So
because it's an easy trap to fall into.
Yeah, that's it.
But if I have one of my crunch times, I'm in after 5 o'clock, or I'm in on the weekend working on something. I'm okay with that on occasion. If it starts to be an okay thing, on an everyday thing, okay, I got to change something here.
See, and that's another good point that I've recently heard somewhere, that there's times when you have to focus, there's times when you have to crunch, there's times when you have to put in those other times.
Absolutely.
But the times that it isn't backlogged and there isn't those urgent deadlines, embrace it.
Absolutely.
Don't work anymore. Take the rest then, because you're going to need that rest and that energy when it does come into crunch time.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. Yeah. And do what you need to do for you. Like, you've got kids. Spend time with your kids.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, good, I'm making a lot of money and I'm going to be able to do this for the kids. The kids aren't going to remember that you spent time making that money for that. And I once heard somebody said we had a bunch of money, and we can either take the family on a weekend ski vacation, which is going to be gone at the end of the weekend, or we can redo our bathroom.
Yeah.
And which we're going to have forever. They chose the ski weekend because they said down the road the kids are going to remember when we were skiing and I fell over so many times. They're never going to say, oh, remember that great bathroom we had?
It's that experiences thing. Yeah.
So you got to, like, the kids are only little once.
Yeah.
And you're only going to be able to live today once.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your time?
And you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, enjoy the people around you, enjoy every day, laugh. Don't take yourself so seriously. It's like, it's not a big deal. It's just, and I say to people, whatever you're stressing out about today, would you remember it in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Because if you won't remember it, it's probably not that big a deal. And I'll say to different people, so Matt, what were you stressed out about February 18th this year? February 18th, it's like, I could have picked May 3rd.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And some people will say to me, oh, that's the day I had surgery, or that's the day I had my car accident. Well, those are things that are
Major
worth stressing out about.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if you think about day to day, we've got, I got to get this done, or I got to call that, and we get ourselves worked up into things. Is it really that big a deal?
That's it.
Will you remember it in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Probably not. So let it go.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about success. And in your mind, how would you define success?
For me, if I'm healthy and happy.
Plain and simple. There you go.
In those terms, in that priority. Am I healthy and am I happy? And if you got health and happiness, you pretty much got everything in the world.
That's right.
You really do. And for a lot of people, because I'll ask people at different times what's success for them.
Yep.
And some of the workshops I do, depending, and I said, for some people it's when I make $1 million. For some people it's when I get that corner office and the title. And it's like, okay, good for you. And for other people it's when I raise great kids.
Yeah.
Good for you. It's very much an individual thing. Yes, we all need enough money to pay our bills and do what we need to do. Money has never been my driver. I should never say that out loud, but it's never been my driver. It's the self-satisfaction that I get from what I do. Certainly I need to be paid, and because I've got bills like everybody else in the world, but I don't need to have buckets of money. If buckets of money drop in my lap, yoo-hoo, I can do a lot more with it. But I'm not driven by that.
Yeah.
So to me, being healthy, being happy, and if I'm going to add a third one for me as an individual, is making a difference in the world. That's success to me,
awesome.
if I can make a difference in the world.
Yeah. So based on your definition of success there, what do you think are the key skills someone would need to kind of aspire to the same sort of level of success that you're kind of painting a picture of?
First and foremost is to put themselves as the number one priority.
Yeah.
All right, because are you looking after yourself? Are you healthy? And making sure you're healthy. Yeah, there's times when, like we talked about, you're going to have a crunch and you're under a bit of stress. Okay, that's fine. Don't let it become your norm.
That's right.
Don't let it become your norm. So look after your health, eat well, exercise, get enough sleep. I'm good in the sleep department, and all of that stuff, which we all know about. The second thing I would say is find your passion and follow it. Because if you're doing something that you love, it's never work.
Yeah.
It's never work.
Yeah.
Be open to learning. For what you need to do, like continually learn, whether it's in your field or other things, continue to learn like that. And the other thing is build your relationships, network, and listen to others with an open mind.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like, oh, you remind me of my Aunt Ruth, and I hated my Aunt Ruth. I'm not listening to you. It's like, get over that.
Yeah.
Get over that. Everybody's a new person. Everybody's got experiences that they can share that may just really help you grow.
That's right.
And that you can learn from them. Or maybe they're going to tell you something. You can say, oh, I can help you with that. I experienced that too. Here's what I did. Maybe it will work for you too.
Yeah. It's back to that nugget. It all kind of boils down to that little nugget of information or idea or thought or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you look after yourself, you continue to learn and grow, you follow your passion and you build your network around you, how could you lose?
That's right. Yeah.
How can you possibly lose,
So throughout your professional career, is there one kind of defining moment or one instance that you can remember that really kind of made you think, I've done it, I've succeeded, I've climbed the mountain, I'm where I want to be? Is there one moment that maybe stands out, or couple? Yeah.
There's a couple that came as a surprise for me because I'm just one individual and walking the face of this earth like everybody else, and I've got skills and talents just like everybody else, but I'm not any better than anybody else. And 2 years ago, I was advised that I won a Women of Excellence Award for Sarnia Lambton.
Wow.
And then this past year, I won the award for inclusivity for the Sarnia Lambton Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. And when I heard both of those, I was kind of like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Because there's a lot of people doing good things. Yeah. There's a lot of people doing good things. I'm just doing what I think is the right thing to do. So those two things kind of surprised me, that other people would turn and look at me and think, you're doing some good things, Helen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so those two things, they really did catch me completely off guard. It's like, I'm just doing like other people are doing. I'm out there doing my job and trying to help. And so those were the two things that really caught me off guard more than anything. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we talk about successes. Let's look at the opposite side. Has there been any major stumbling blocks or failures that you could kind of think of, and maybe how you overcame them?
Yeah, there is. And when I said to you right up front, I said, believe in yourself.
Yep.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
I didn't do that. There was one corporate client that I was dealing with, a big client, and I had somebody else had asked me to go in to do something with him, and I went in and had a meeting with him, and they said, oh, this will be great, and blah, blah, blah. And so that's fine, and they wanted to do this workshop several different times. And at the initial meeting, I just got some funny vibes from their vice president, but the rest of them said, oh, this is going to be exactly what we need and everything. So the day of the workshop, I showed up and I ran the workshop and everything, and had some decent evaluations. I have to say my evaluations for my workshops are always really, wow, this was great, I learned a lot, and I got some things I didn't expect to get, and that's pretty much the norm for me to get. I always read them because I need to know if there's some things that didn't work for people.
Right, yeah.
So all my evals over the years have been pretty positive. And then about a week after I ran the workshop, I got a note that we will never be doing this again, and nor will we ever be working with Helen again.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch is a big ouch. It's like I didn't sleep for a few nights after that one. It's like, what did I do wrong? Because the evals didn't look bad that day, and we had a lot of interaction. We had a lot of dialogue. What went on that day, and that sat with me for about 2 months.
Yeah. Could you ever get to the bottom of it?
Nope.
No
well,
way.
no, I've come to a conclusion, but I don't know why.
I see.
And so it's like I didn't do anything different than I wouldn't normally do. And the vice president was in the workshop as well as in the meeting, the same one I had the vibes from. And I'm guessing I was her Aunt Ruth.
Oh.
I'm thinking that there was,
you into a
I'm
certain,
thinking there was something that went on with her that she didn't like, that I connected, but it bothered me for about 2 months. And it's like, what did I do wrong? Did I let them down? Did I not do this? Did I not do that? And I'm looking in the mirror saying, what did I do wrong?
That's right.
And it's good to do that, but I should have said that. You didn't do anything wrong, Helen. You did everything you normally did, and it worked for the people. You read the evaluations. You know it was good. But they fired me, and that was so unusual.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to get to say, no, I guess, you know what, I don't think it was me.
Yeah.
I have to let that
It's
go.
one of
It
those
wasn't
things.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a biggie.
Yeah.
And I didn't follow my believe in yourself because I know I do good jobs. I know I deliver the goods to people. So I let that lapse, and that was my bad.
Are there any missed opportunities you can think of over the years?
Sure. The thing for me is if I put a business hat on, which I don't often because I love the people side and I'm like, I can help them, I can do this, and I don't pay attention to the business side, but I'm sure if I would have, I could have done a lot more negotiations and marketing and stuff like that to get more clients or different clients than I have. Yeah. But I'm really happy doing what I'm doing.
That's right.
So it's worked. Yeah. So some of the opportunities on the bottom line thing, could I have done a lot more? Probably. Yeah. But I'm focused on the people thing, and I really haven't focused that much on that side, and I probably should have. But if I would have had a manager over top of me, they would probably batted me in the ear. I could have enlarged my speaking because I was really, like I said, doing coast to coast and down. I mean, I worked down in the Bahamas and everything too. And I probably could have done a lot of that because the speaking circuit is very lucrative. Yes. And I thought about ramping it up at one point in time. Yeah. And it was like, if I do that, I'm a homebody. I love my husband and my critters. And that would have meant I was on the road even more than I was at that point in time. And it's like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. I'm happy.
Good for you. I'm doing a lot of people would have
doing some what I'm doing. Yeah. But I'll pass up the money to keep my home life the way it was. That goes back to my work-life balance too.
That's right, yeah. Because a lot of people seeing that carrot and even that speaking thing you mentioned would run at that with all their might, but
not me.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given over the years?
The best piece of advice, it came back to me way back in the 70s, and somebody looked at me. I was down at a conference down in the States, and somebody came up to me, because I was really young then. We'd had a couple of days together within the whole group, and he came up to me and he looked at me, and I didn't know this man well. And he said to me, Helen, he said, you have all your answers. And I looked at him and I said, what do you mean I have all my answers? He said, you have all the answers you're ever going to need inside of you. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you just aren't asking yourself the right questions yet. He gave me advice in a very indirect way. Look inside and dig. Ask what's going on. Who's involved? When did this happen? How many times has this happened? What have you done before on this? And so the advice I would say to people is, again, it comes back to believe in yourself and look inside at what you've got to offer. Yeah. And look at what you can do differently. Believe in yourself. Look inside for those questions that you aren't maybe not asking yourself just yet.
Is there over the years somebody, a business person or somebody that you admire that has kind of not so much mentored, but somebody you kind of look up to in terms of what you want to aspire to be personally or professionally or anything like that?
Yeah. Actually there's two. Yeah. And I'm really shooting high on this one, Matt. Really shooting high. Literally. Yeah. Chris Hadfield and Richard Branson.
Both interesting dudes,
They're both going to outer space.
Yeah.
They're both just ordinary people that built their career and their life.
That's cool.
They're no different than you and I.
Yeah.
And I mean, I read Richard Branson's second book, and what an awesome man and what he's doing.
He's pretty.
Years ago, he set up a group of elders for the world.
Oh, yeah.
For the world. What do we need to do for our world?
Yeah.
And the person he put as the head of that group of elders for the very first one was Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
Yeah. So I look at Branson and what he's trying to do to help the world,
Yeah.
and the business that he's grown and the jobs that he's created. I mean, he was a self-made man. He didn't have any money, and good for him.
His story is pretty awesome.
So it is an awesome story, like from the everyday to the go to the stars, because he's going to the stars.
Yeah.
And then we've already had somebody who's been there. Chris Hadfield. He was an ordinary guy. He lived in Sarnia. He lived in Oakville. He got to join. He was a fighter pilot. He got to be an astronaut. He's a guitar player. He brought space to the kids at the school. He sang songs. He showed them pictures from outer space.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Think of the people that he's touched. Think of the people that they've both inspired and done things. And they're ordinary people.
That's right.
So shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
Literally. Literally. They did it. And so those two people, I think, are just amazing. And aren't I great?
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
not.
Very humble. Yep. I read something about Branson one time about how he kind of got started in the airline business. Have you heard this story? His flight got canceled. He was going to go meet a girl.
Yeah.
His flight got canceled, so he went to the back of the airport, chartered his own plane, got everybody else that was supposed to be on that plane to kind of help pitch in, and that was his first kind of takeoff with that. So it's crazy.
Talk about creativity.
Yeah.
Right?
If you had a chance to start over, would you do anything different?
I would probably take more courses in a psychology side of things.
Yep.
And I probably would go on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Fast.
Just start running.
Yeah. And it's like, not because I want to be big, but because if the more people you touch, the more they will touch.
Yeah.
And the better we can all be if we look at it that way. Not from I'm going to be a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I can be a powerhouse. I mean, I know I can walk into a room and change the energy in a room, and I know that.
Yeah.
But I want to do it for the right reasons.
That's
I
right.
want, I don't want it because, I can manipulate these people. I can get what I want. I can go down that path. That's the wrong reason for using power that way.
Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Oh, God, I hope it's not a nursing home. I don't know, Matt. I honestly don't know. I'm determined little devil, and I'm persistent. So I probably will. Like, I would like to reach out to people like Chris Hadfield, like Richard Branson, like Oprah, like Rona Ambrose, who've been big players on the world stage. And people say, well, why would they ever respond to you? They might not.
You never know.
They might not.
Yeah, you never know,
but
though.
they might. And what am I going to lose if they do?
That's
or
right.
if they don't?
Yeah. There's more potential today for one of those people to reach out, to respond and actually interact than ever before. What is the single best piece of advice you could give somebody today, starting out in business or in life, that you think would help them get along the right path?
Believe in yourself, which I've said before.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself. Try things. And if it fails once, doesn't mean it's going to fail again.
Yeah.
Like, I could have that one company could have been my very first company. I would have thought, I'm not good at this.
That's
I better
right,
shut her
yeah.
down.
Yep.
So don't learn from your failures, but accept them and know that you will fail over and over again in your life, and that's just part of our learning process.
Yep.
To do that. And listen and learn from the people around you and build your relationships, because relationships are going to make your business grow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're absolutely critical.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think you said it before, the whole titles don't really matter as you're going there, and treat everybody the same, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've worked for presidents I'd walk off a cliff for.
Yep.
I've worked for presidents that are absolute jerks. It's not the title behind your name. It doesn't matter whether it's president, director, whatever it happens to be. It's how you treat people.
That's it.
People see it. People are watching you every day, and they're listening to you every day. And they're going to make some conclusions about your words and your behavior.
Yeah.
You want it to build a legacy, not destroy one.
So the last piece of this, Helen,
Yeah.
is the rapid fire game. Got 10 questions here for you. First thing that comes to mind. Morning person or night hawk?
Morning.
Prefer to read the news on your device or actual paper?
Watch the TV.
On TV. Favorite social media platform?
I'm on
Instagram.
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn to use my email all the time. But for Facebook, I set it up. There's just so much garbage on there. I don't have enough time for it. So it's like, take that down.
Yep.
I'm done.
Cool.
Yep.
City living or country life?
Country.
Country.
I'm a country girl. I like the open spaces and the village life.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, what's one thing that's on your bucket list?
I guess to get a hold of Richard Branson and Rona Ambrose and Oprah.
Yeah.
I guess that would have to be it.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
People who belittle other people.
Yeah.
do not tolerate that well.
Yeah. Favorite food?
Macaroni and cheese.
You and my daughters would get along really well.
Love it.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Clean or messy desk?
Oh, it's messy. It's messy.
Organized chaos, right? What song do you want to be played at your funeral?
Don't worry, be happy.
There you go.
Yeah, don't worry, be happy. It's a good world and we can all move forward.
Yeah.
Enjoy every day, guys.
Thank you so much, Helen. This has been a pleasure and an honor, and this is, a great episode of Storytellers here.
My pleasure. Enjoyed it, laughed.
That's
It's
great.
good. Added to my day today. Thanks so much, Matt.
Perfect. Thanks, Helen.
Okay.